Hi, I'm Joe Puckett. Thanks for joining me again for another quick ministry security briefing. A discussion of what would you do in this situation. This is a real situation. I have another one here for you that actually occurred to a church ministry, and this one actually could be a pretty common occurrence that we really want to talk about as individuals, as small teams maybe, or small, maybe one member as a single usher of a church or single security person that you've been identified to take care of things, or maybe a bigger group as a team. How would you handle this situation? So this occurred in Bellevue, Tennessee, August 19th. A person leaving church, one of the members was leaving early, sees a man opening and closing car doors and stealing items from the cars. Joshua Jana, age 36, was detained and then eventually arrested by police. So what would you do in this situation? You, one of your ushers, one of your security members, or you as a part of that usher team goes out to check the parking lot, and I hope we're doing those kind of things because nowadays we know that stuff's going to happen in our parking lot. So we want to try to pay attention to that. So if I go out there by myself, or I have a member of the church comes back in and says, hey, this guy is out there running through the cars, going through cars, breaking into cars, what are you going to do in those situations? So how are you going to handle that as a team? First of all, how am I going to communicate? How do I communicate that to each other? I'm certainly going to want an assistant if I go out there. So is that another ministry leader that I'm getting if I'm a solo usher? Or as a team, how am I going to communicate to my other team members that I need one or two people to come out into the parking lot with me? And who's calling the police? We want to make sure that we have someone designated as soon as possible to call 911. And then there's that option again. We have to make decisions. There's that option of, should I just be a good witness and call 911 and try to watch the guy as he's breaking in and try to watch what he looks like, be a good witness, get the description of him, get the direction he goes if he leaves. So those are my options. I'm going to confront him, or I'm going to call 911 and just be a good witness and an observer so I don't have any issues. If you're not trained, if your team is not actively training in self-defense or dealing with difficult people, those kinds of things, I highly recommend that we consider the option of calling 911 and being a good witness. But that's just my thoughts. If you're trained, or you have previous training, or you feel like you can handle it yourself, then you make those decisions if you're going to go and confront the person or try to stop them from doing that while you call the police. And I recommend that we're calling 911 maybe even before we're going out there. As soon as we can, get some police or some trained people coming to assist us. So you make those decisions. If this happened during your service, what would you do as an individual? What would you do as a team? And would you actually hold him? Would you actually physically hold him till police arrived? Is that something you or your team are willing to do? And that's probably a question we want to ask our ministry leader or our ministry's attorney or our insurance company. Can we actually stop and hold on to that person? You probably can. Most of your state laws, I don't know where all of you might be, but most of the time we can probably detain someone, hold on to them. But is that the best option? And then what happens if he doesn't want to be detained? What if he wants to fight with you? What if he's willing at all costs to get away? So how would you deal with that then? Is that the point then that you would just say, okay, we're going to let him go and try to be a good witness, and the police are already on the way because we already called him? So have a quick discussion. I throw this information out to you so that you have some factual material to discuss as a team, or as you as a solo usher with the ministry leader. It's good for us to discuss, and we need to do that. If we don't give our brains some material to think about, then we're not going to know what to do in the given situation. Our brain's going to have too many questions. Should I do this? Does my ministry leader want me to do this? At what level do I go and actually detain the person? These are the discussions we want to have ahead of time. That's golden for your brain, so that it has materials and information so that it can react very quickly. So, and always don't forget to document your training. So have a sheet. I've got one down below on this page for you that you can subscribe to my blog as a vehicle to get that to you. And then, or you can look at the sheet. You can see enough of the sheet down below to make up your own sheet. Document who was at this training, when you did it, how long it lasted, and put it in a file so that you have that later if there's some kind of issue or some kind of liability. So I'm sure at a minimum your insurance company will appreciate it, but I think it's good for all of us to practice this, especially given the high liability these days. So thanks for joining me.